Hey, this is Troy Taylor with the Life Lessons Podcast. Coach Bald is missing in action. Last time he was seen, he was in St. Petersburg somewhere. I know he'll be tough because I've known him my entire life. Life lessons today. Got the Final Four coming up. Everybody's excited about that. The women's, the men's. But there's no place like home. Home is where the heart is. I got this sign for $10 at a local crafts place. The man from Seoul is back.
Whew. Oh, man. Oh, dude, I feel like crap. I'm sorry, man. Oh, I'm
Dude,
still,
I
I'm
got
still, I'm,
I
I'm
got it
still under the
recently.
weather.
I was sick for 3 weeks.
Whew. Oh, yeah,
I was sick for 3 weeks, man.
I'm not myself right now, but we'll get there. A lot of
Yeah, I know, brother.
hydration. Man.
Yeah, it's like you don't
Oh,
really understand how important
good
your health
morning,
is when you
MK.
get sick. I mean, I was sick for a week. Then I thought I got better. I went back to practice, school, and then, dude, I crashed and I got sick another week. That was like 3 weeks I was sick.
Yeah, that's the problem I'm running into right now is because I'm not stopping to rest. I just think it just like just when I think I'm coming out of it, I'm just back on the couch, man,
Dude, go
trying to
get in the
figure out how
bed.
to shake
Go
this
get in
stuff.
bed. That's when I know I'm sick because I don't want to look at my phone. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't even want to change my clothes. I'll go get in
Yes,
bed and put the
yes,
cover.
yes. I mean,
I told my kid,
last night I woke up this morning with the same outfit on to include my hat. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? I'm like, what in the world am I doing?
nothing
I
else
gotta
matters.
shake this.
Nothing else matters, dude.
No,
You know,
no,
you're really sick. Like the kids in my class, they don't understand that, but some do. I'm like, dude, when you're sick, you don't care about the phone. You don't care
no.
about a party. You don't care about what's on TV.
You don't care about food. You don't care.
Yeah,
You
your
just want
body's
to lay down.
trying to save itself, man.
Yes,
And it's a virus. I guarantee you it's a virus and it's been around forever. And they used to tell you, go home. There's nothing we can do. Go to
yes.
bed, drink some chicken soup, drink some water, Gatorade.
Yeah, you guys are the only when you were coaching over there at Bird. It, you're the only school I've ever seen with chicken soup in the hallway when the players are coming in at halftime. I've never seen that before at any other school. Like, because you
Chicken
know how it
soup?
gets cold in end of the season in
When
the
was that?
playoffs, huh?
When was that? That was before I was there.
Okay, there because I was standing just because it might have been before you were there because my son wanted to see the players. My youngest son now,
It's
who's a
probably
junior.
snug. That was probably the year they played Atlee and it was so cold in like
Yeah,
2014.
they had all this chicken soup. And it was just steaming up in the hallway right when the players come out.
Yeah. They'll do anything. Yeah, man. They'll do anything.
Oh, chicken
So
soup right now sounds good for breakfast, actually. I mean,
that's what you need,
seriously.
man. You need some chicken soup and you need to get in the bed, man. You shouldn't even be walking right now. You should
I
be in the
know,
bed.
but I just needed some fresh air, man.
All air is the same. I asked this 80-year-old woman who lives in Miami half the year and lives in Colorado the other half of the year. And she told me that all air is not the same. Her son graduated from Colorado State. I said, I'm getting ready to go to Colorado State on Monday.
Hey, dude. Yeah, make sure you're awake before you land if you've never been out there. It is. Look, man. I like I told you, I lived there for 4 years, and I thought I was going to retire there because it took me away. It's like this is where I want to be. But the problem was I didn't realize that the best place to live is right here at home because once you're out there and your kids leave, you just don't have any family. That's where I got older, I figured it out. Like, as and people Young people, when they go to places, they're like, man, this is heaven. But when you get older, there's no family around you. Then it's like that's why you have home, and that's why I love Matoka. I mean, it's home because of people like you too, not just my family. It's the others that I grew up around. And then even if you didn't go to school with me and play against me, we have the same thing in common. So that's where this place is so magical and beautiful to me. But Colorado will take your breath away when you get off that airplane and walk out there and see those mountains, because they feel like they get ready to fall on you, man. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. Like everyone's like, man, how's Dion out there in the cold? He's loving it because the views are just captivating him.
You can't
Like
pay for them. You
no,
can't pay for that scenery. You can't build it.
no,
We couldn't build it. We've tried to build them. Pyramids, ziggurats, you know.
Yeah.
You can't build mountains like that.
No. They're Rocky Mountains is it's where it's at. Again, you will, especially coming from South Beach, when you get there, it's a because you're up almost at sea level there. You'll taste the difference in the air. You'll taste it because you were just down where you were literally at or below sea level, and now you're going to be 6,000 feet in the air. Yeah, you'll feel it. You may even get a little bit of a headache.
Yeah.
And like a faint feeling, because if you're not used to it and you're just come in for the weekend,
I'm not
if they got you moving around and you're standing on your feet a lot, you might feel a little faint because you're getting less oxygen to your brain for real. And
I'm going to practice,
especially if you go out there and exercise, like you get off the plane, like get up in the morning and go for a little jog, you'll feel it. You feel like you can't, your lungs can't get air. It's a different thing, man. But the air is different. That air is different.
MK says, when bad things happen, resist the urge to blame others. Instead, find something you can do yourself to fix the problem. Dave Ramsey, what do you have to say about that, Paul?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And again, I mean, I would make reference to my military background, because that's you spend every minute of your waking hour fixing things. You know, it's not a smooth operation. It is very fluid situation in the military from sun up to sundown. And that's what changed me into a, you know, I didn't know if the glass was half full or half empty, to, you know, the glass is half full because there's always a solution. We just got to work to get to it. And you know, there's no reason to sit and waste time making excuses. It's just get to the root of the problem and fix it. I mean, and try to do it where it helps the most people possible.
Man,
that's the way I look at that.
I'm so glad you're on life lessons, because I'm not even that deep right now, man. I'm just like getting back from Miami last night. I did a show, and I was so tired, man. I'd been up since like 5 a.m.
Yeah. No, I told Lambo, yeah, when he gets back, you're gonna see a different him, because Miami nightlife is undefeated.
Yeah, he's calling me old and all this stuff, and like, I mean, ignorance is bliss. But dude, like, I've been up since 5 a.m. I coached at the Miami Hurricanes. No, I was really on the field. They gave me a badge the first day I was wearing it, and they were like, the security was keeping me. I was like, man, forget this. I'm tucking my badge. Then the last 2 days, I didn't even wear a badge. I'm out there on the field. I'm in the huddle. I'm with the offense and the defense.
Okay, then tell me something. And compare it, please compare it to being in the huddle at Virginia Union and being in the huddle at another Division I institution that you've been that close to the Gladiators.
For Virginia Union, we had guys that could play at University of Miami. We had guys that actually did play there, Eddie Johnson. But, you know, some of the guys we had that could have played there or was from down there, they had reasons that they were at Union. Grades, trouble. You know, their coach was there. somebody knew somebody. So I mean, we had guys that could play there, but there was a reason they didn't make it there.
Mhm.
And like to compare that place to like an in-state school, just watching them. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Virginia Tech in their heyday with Frank Beamer. Other than like, I don't know if their linemen at Virginia Tech look like the linemen at Miami. Like
I was just gonna say that.
everybody is big. Everybody is big. You don't understand how big these guys are.
Yes.
Like their guards are 6'6" and they don't look tall because the guy next to him is 6'9".
Yes.
And there's players everywhere. I mean, it's one of the best looking football teams I've ever seen. I mean, when they all get in their little huddles, you don't know who the linemen are, who the D linemen are, who the linebackers, because they all look the same.
Mhm.
You know, the people that work there are just like you and me. You know, Mario Cristobal, he's the head coach. You know, he's the businessman. He's the head of the operation. I mean, it's just like the boss anywhere, the general. Like you're not yucking it up when the boss comes around. Like when the boss comes around and tells the O-line coach, "Hey, I need to speak with you for a second," I go, "Okay, coach, I'm getting out of the room." That type of deal. Because they don't know me. You know, they don't want to talk about stuff in front of me. I could go and tell Virginia Tech what they're doing, but in the end of the day, it don't matter. I mean, they're quarterbacks. They got the kid from Washington State. Then they got this huge white kid. They got this huge black kid. But in the end, it's football.
Yes.
And in the end, I mean, Ed Orgeron is walking around. I mean, that's the difference. Ed O is walking around because
he's down there too.
He's down there, but he's just having a good time. I mean, like he said, when they met with him at LSU, they said, "Ed, we think we're gonna have to let you go. We're gonna pay you your $20 million." He goes, "Oh, which door do I leave out of?" I mean, which door do I leave out of? You're gonna fire me and pay me $20 million not to coach. I mean, which door do I leave out of? But I heard Ed O tell a player on the team, this kid, he's a true freshman. He's 6'5", but he don't even look tall or taller, maybe 6'6". I mean, Jason Taylor's coaching the D line. So I mean, they all look like Jason Taylor or bigger. So he tells the kid, he goes, first down sack equals 2nd and 15. So I was like, okay. I was like, that's good. I like that. First down sack equals 2nd and 15. So Ed O walked by me later in the practice. I said, "Hey, coach, I'm Troy Taylor from Richmond, Virginia. I heard you tell that kid first down sack equals 2nd and 15. And I was like, what's the next part?" And he goes, "First down sacks for the team. 3rd down sacks for the cash." And I was like, "Who taught you that?" He said, "Oh, Rob Marinelli." I said, "Well, Rob Marinelli liked the blitz." He goes, "Yes, he did." And he just walks off, dude, just like he's a regular guy, man.
Who?
Ed Orgeron.
Did you like talking to him?
I loved it. It's like talking to myself.
Yes.
I mean, it's football, dude. He's football.
So what is his title down there?
It's nothing. He's a guy walking around, and his son coaches there, and he used to coach in Miami. I mean, he just walks around and he talks to Jason Taylor and a Coach Stroud, who I met through Mike Spencer. I mean,
what's Jason Taylor doing there?
Jason Taylor coaches the defensive ends or the outside backers, whatever they are.
Wow.
And it's funny because like the first day I was down there, I was watching team, but I was listening to this coach across the sidelines, and he was yelling like, "Screen, screen! Hey, switch it off, switch it off!" The dude is coaching while the bullets are flying. So I was like, "Dude, I got to go here. I got to. People attract the people. So like, I wanted to go find out who this dude was. Like, I wanted to listen to him coach. So like, I had my tag on, and the guy's like, "Well, you can't go by there." Finally, I'm just like, I just put my tag in my shirt, and I have Miami stuff. I walk and stand right behind this guy, and I'm just listening to him coach. And dude, he's a former high school coach. He was the head coach at McNeese State. He's a white guy from Louisiana. He was the DC at Marshall for 2 years, and this is his first big job. But this guy can coach football. And he's a former high school coach, and Coach Mirabal, the offensive line coach, former high school coach. And they're probably the two best coaches on the staff.
Wow.
Because they're teachers, and dude, they love it. Like, it oozes from them. But I was so impressed with this defensive coordinator and Coach Mirabal. Like, but their quarterbacks are huge. Like, they got this big white kid that's a backup. Then they got this black kid that's a backup, and he's huge, and he can run like a deer. Man,
Wow.
Run. They're loaded. I don't want to jinx them, but they're loaded, dude. Like, but the facilities, Coral Gables is small. So, like, indoor facilities, 80 yards, but you can't even tell. Like, they're like, we got to have a 100-yard field. What's the difference between an 80-yard field and a 100-yard field? Like,
Nothing.
doesn't really matter. Like,
especially for practice.
They have two Bermuda fields outside that are like Palm Beach. I mean, it's like Pebble Beach. I mean, it's perfect.
Yes.
But what's different about it is I don't know if really anything is different other than sometimes you look at coaching staffs and you kind of ask yourself, like, what guy on this staff could coach on that staff? You know, like, dude, their staff is loaded. They have coaches everywhere. They have guys. Did you
go to any meetings and watch cut-ups?
Yeah, I spent Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with the offensive line coach.
Okay.
I went to every one of his meetings with the offensive line, and we watched every single run play of the Detroit Lions from last season. And then we watched all their pass pros.
Wow.
That's who he was studying, you know, because the Lions, they have a nasty offensive line, man, and they really pound the ball. And then Coach Panay Sewell. This guy's like 5'3". I mean, and he's like the most famous college offensive line coach. I mean, he stands next to a jockey, and the jockey looks like a giant next to Coach Mirabal. Coach Mirabal is a small man.
What is he from? How did he get into offensive line play?
Because he went to high school with Mario Cristobal.
Okay.
And he was a high school coach at Christopher Columbus, which is a private school down there. And he was a coach and a government teacher. And then Mario Cristobal got the job at Florida Atlantic, and he brought him on as tight end coach. And then he became offensive line coach. And then Mario Cristobal got fired. He went to Marshall for 4 years. Then Mario Cristobal went to Alabama as the line coach and went to Oregon. And then he went to Oregon as the O-line coach. And then Mario Cristobal went to Miami.
Yeah.
So
okay.
He went to Miami. And it was his birthday, and I, spent his birthday with his family. I mean, how good is that, man? These guys, they love me. They let me go to their birthday dinner. They let me meet their families. They let me, like, Coach of Colorado State's gonna let me stay with his family. He said we got plenty of rooms and plenty of food. Just get a plane ticket out here before the 20th.
Yeah,
I'm going to DC on Monday, and I'm flying to Colorado State, dude.
That's awesome.
Picking me up in a shuttle. Shuttle. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Grooms. What an experience! Can you believe that, man?
Yeah, and their stadium's like cut into the mountain. It's like right close to it. That's.
I mean, for $180, would you have done it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never even been to Colorado. I've never even seen a real mountain. We don't have real mountains in Virginia. They're like hills, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, it's got its own personality of the Blue Ridge Mountains, because they are beautiful, but they're just not as grandiose as the Rockies. They're just like you look up, you're like, man, like it's just and like right. I was down in the Springs which is an hour south of Denver, and we had a mountain, Pikes Peak, and that thing was right behind the base, and it looked like literally we lost daylight hours because of that mountain, because it was to the west. So the sun gets behind that, and it'd still be light outside, but we don't have any sun. It's so big. Incredible. Man, I'd love to go back out there. My best friend lives out in Denver. He works for Southwest Airlines.
Yeah, you need to go, man.
I do.
You need to get healthy first, though, man.
Oh yeah.
I met this old lady, and her son graduated from Colorado State, and they live in Colorado half the year. But I was telling her about Totem Pole Nation, and she's 80 years old. She says she's going to start watching our podcast because she needs something uplifting. And I had her rolling, dude, on the plane ride. Her father worked for IBM, and her husband worked for IBM. She's 80. That was when they were like National Cash Register, and they converted to IBM and got hooked up with the government and NASA and all that. Oh my gosh, that's big time.
Yeah.
So you've just been sick.
Yeah.
And you just
and I had to go, and then I had to go to University of Richmond, and do a meet and greet there. And I was on my feet for 4 straight hours because I watched practice and everything. What an experience! That was a great experience. And then, I mean, again, that's what I'm saying. I can't stop because I've got to go to Harrisonburg this weekend. So that's why I'm just resting today. Yeah.
That's great, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, one thing Wally Rayner told me that makes a lot of sense, or maybe it wasn't Wally that told me, because I don't talk to Wally very much, but the coach of Trinity told me that Wally teaches his players, like, you have to compare yourself to the guys that are already on the roster. So,
yes.
Like, if you don't look like their guys or you're not their size, then they're probably not going to recruit you.
That's a good point. Mm-hmm.
It was a good point. Like, well, that's why some kids say, well, I'm not a D lineman, I'm a linebacker. Dude, there's a linebacker at the University of Miami, number 32.
Mm-hmm.
He is Terminator. I mean, he is probably 6'3", 220 pounds, and he will blow you up. And he's a true freshman from Georgia. And,
true freshman.
Yeah, he's going to be a sophomore. Going into a sophomore year. But, man, I ain't seen many guys that look like him. Maybe Eddie Johnson that played at the Miami Hurricanes that we had at Union, but Eddie, I don't think he's built like this guy. This guy's dad played for Coach Mirabal in high school. So how much does it cost to go to University of Richmond per year?
$73,000.
It's $60,000 to go to the University of Miami.
Correct. Private.
I mean, why
that's
is
a huge scholarship. That's a huge. And again, I mean, when I thought of that, when I was looking at that on my phone, I was like, that's almost a $500,000 investment. And then when you add in all the other stuff, it probably is. But $500,000 for one kid, and they gotta recruit under that pressure of, I have 65 $500,000 scholarships, and I have really got to focus. That I just wouldn't want that job. That's tough. That's like you're because you hate to miss.
It's almost impossible to get walk-ons to that school.
That's a great point. I didn't even think of that. Yeah. Yes. I mean, because they gotta pay the bill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You compare the price of that to the price of Virginia Tech.
But you have to have a certain level of academics. Like they're not just getting anybody in there.
No. I didn't really think about that. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah. I mean, how many dudes walk on at Richmond?
They're limited to the number of walk-ons they can bring. I think they can only bring in like 10 walk-ons per year. Like
Because
that's crazy,
isn't
man.
Hampton the same setup? Isn't that private as well?
Hampton University.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't think that the academics is that. I know it's high, but it's not as stringent as Richmond. They
Yeah,
want to
but
be
when
like
you
an
talk
Ivy League
about
school.
cost and people walking on, that's another place that I was just referring to walk-ons.
Yeah,
Tough to get
probably so.
walk-on.
But
Yeah.
but at HBCU, I mean, you can still use the United Negro College Fund. I mean, there still is there's money available. I mean, government money
Yes,
for
correct.
kids that qualify. I mean, but at Richmond, if your parents make under 80,000 or something, you go free. But I mean, who in a 2-parent household or even one? I mean, most people make that. I would assume they. I mean, it's hard to live
Yes.
under that. But yeah, it's all a hustle, man. I mean,
Yeah.
but I know one thing. Winston October is genuine.
Yeah, I think he was out recruiting. We spent our time with the QB coach, the coach's son over at Richmond. Really
He's
stand up guy.
he's
Yeah.
good.
Good. I guess they have a great staff over there. I mean, the way, I mean, everyone that met in passing was genuinely interested in the kid. They knew him. They knew him by name as soon as he walked up. I mean, it was a good visit. I mean, and I just like the staff. And then I talked and all the kids were like the same as far as like one common goal. And I could understand why they won the conference because they're locked in, man. There's a good vibe between the coaches and the players there.
Yeah.
And I mean, but then I think about how hard it is for them to recruit. I'm like, man, they're really putting things together, man, because it is difficult when you got academic standards, then you have the price tag of that place, man. But they hit because I mean, you can't. The CAA is a tough conference. You can't just stroll up and win that conference without knowing what you're doing.
No, they're good. Is Josiah Williams still there?
Who?
Is the kid from Thomas Dale still there?
And
Dinwiddie, the receiver?
Oh, I heard he got injured and he just became just a student. But I didn't see him out there. No, I didn't see him, but that's what I heard through the channels because my son was looking for him.
Yeah, I would be too. I'm glad I ain't got a coach against him at Chris Tyree again. That's a two-headed monster. Chris Tyree is at UVA.
Correct.
And he's playing wide receiver. One of my friends went up there and watched them practice. So I'm happy for Chris. I've always liked him.
Yeah, he's a good kid. Great kid. But yeah, I can't wait to see what they've got, man. Because I mean, they ended the season on that was a bad loss to Virginia Tech. And
But they looked good the week before.
Correct. And then I mean, I just so happened to be sitting there watching the Carolina game, and I'm like, wow, they gave Carolina the business. And when they played at Louisville, they looked spectacular. I mean, I just couldn't. They were Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, because the Virginia Tech game, it was just like it was just weird.
I think that Virginia Tech, that was their Super Bowl. They had to win that game to go to a bowl game, and they won.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that changes a lot of things too. Yeah, because you give a little more to get that extra game, and that was their battle cry all the whole week.
Yes, and they wanted to get that comment. They wanted to get that. They didn't play the year before because the kids that got murdered. I mean, it was just a bad deal.
Bad. Yeah. They're trying to. They're really trying to. But both, I would say, just looking at the stuff from both schools, that they're on their way. They're on their. They're both of them want to make some noise. You know, and I'm glad to see they're recruiting the Virginia area hard again. That's good to see.
Yeah. And the Final Four, Who's
Oof.
playing tonight? Is there any games tonight?
Tonight starts the women's Final Four. So we get South Carolina and NC State at 6-ish, and the nightcap is Iowa, Connecticut.
Wow.
That's gonna be the two headline guards from the one, Caitlin Clark, and then the young lady number 5 from UConn. It's gonna be a good game. Both games are just gonna be great. I think the whole weekend's gonna be great. I think we got good storylines. I'm just amazed. I didn't even realize that, like, until yesterday, that not only, everyone talks about UConn and having 2 teams in the Final Four, but NC State has 2 teams in the Final Four. NC State. That's impressive.
Oh, yeah.
That's impressive.
All right, MK's got to go to school. Thank you, MK. I'm going to get off here because I'm going to let Paul rest. Hopefully he'll be rested up for tonight. But Paul, thank you. St. Pete Rejuvenate, thank you. You got anything else you want to say, Paul?
No, everyone have a blessed weekend and enjoy all the good sports.
We love
because
y'all.
there's some must-see TV.